You're live.
I guess the way he did that. And welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Trades HQ podcast. My name is Michael Sipes. You can find me on Twitter at FFBlitz. And I'm here with my partners, Jeremy Browen
I'm up here, and I'm at Dynasty Madman.
and Shane Manila.
At Shane is the worst.
we tried to figure out a way to do this where we hit the go live thing. And so the reason I was laughing right when it started was Jeremy said, how did you describe your grin? What did you say?
Dumb, soup, whatever. When I give you this really dumb grin. Yeah.
That's why we were laughing. But hey, we're back and we're doing an iTunes show, which is also going to be on YouTube too. So last week we did a Patreon only show, which was fun. We had some people on there and everything like that. So we're back here today, and man, there's so much stuff going on. It's like all this, I mean, there's controversy and everything going on with all these coaches changes and coaching hires and everything. So I know we wanted to talk about some of that stuff, but before that, Shane, who brought the news to us?
Who brought the news?
Who brought the news?
Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy at underdogfantasy.com.
Love
Use promo code TradesHQ. Best ball drafts are starting up soon.
Really?
Yeah, that's my favorite, dude. I love best ball drafts with them. With
Best ball
Underdog.
season.
Really. Shane's like, yeah, it's time. It's time to start it.
Best ball season. Look, best ball. Remember, best ball guys, they just draft like freaking wild men for like, I don't know, however, the whole off season.
I mean, that's all there is. There's no starting lineups. I mean, it's all about draft. Yeah.
You just draft 150 teams. So if you're going to draft 150 teams, do it on Underdog and use promo code TradesHQ. You get a sign up bonus. Well,
and
for the first time you sign up.
It is funny too, because Shane, we finally got you to cut back on your leagues. Jeremy cut back on his. I cut back on mine. But you're right. The people that are like really, you're muted, Jeremy. The people that
we finally got you to cut back on it. We're like addicts. Sorry.
The people, you know what's really funny? Now when we do this show regularly and we say, hey, you're muted, people don't see you. But now people are going to see you like moving your lips and everything, and you're muted. But it is true. People that are really like diehard best ball guys, they do it like through the whole off season. And is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's about drafting, man. I mean, as many teams as they can do. Seriously, Brad Ray's, I mean, he would do like 300 teams, like
that's
draft
crazy.
300. And it doesn't really need to keep track of it because it's best ball. But then like they talk about trends like, oh, that was after Tyreek Hill was hurt. That was before. So many like things that happen to players are really consequential to what they're doing because, I mean, it changes the entire dynamic of their drafts. It's pretty cool. It's a whole different breed of thing.
Yeah. And when we talk about all the different types of fantasy and even with the amount of leagues that we are in, I don't think I've ever had like just a best ball team. I never really did it just myself. I think we did those things where we did that charity thing or whatever, but it was the three of us, but I don't think I've ever just gone in and done a best ball
long
team.
Games. Yeah.
You didn't draft one Underdog best ball team last year?
What we did with Underdog was every time we were talking about all that stuff, I did some things, but I'm talking about in the off season. We didn't start doing Underdog till during the season. You
didn't actually prep and draft for like a best ball team for. Yeah, I get you.
Right. I'm talking about January, February, March, April, those kind of things. I've never done anything like that where then all of a sudden you're in the regular season and you've got 300 other teams. No, I've never done that.
All right. Well, go do that this summer. Off season. Yeah. So
anyway. Okay, I will. So let's talk about some of these coaches. Which is the biggest one? Which one is the most important to you, Shane?
Important to me?
Yeah,
like on a personal
for
level,
dynasty football, man. Like, what do you think is going to be the best for dynasty?
Brian?
No, Jeremy. I want to know on a personal level. To Shane Manila, which is the most important on a personal?
The most important one was the Bears.
I get you.
The Bears coaching staff, because I love Justin Fields, as does Jeremy. I was really hoping that they would go another way than some guy that's not even a real person, Matt Eberflus, who sounds like he's in the witness protection program. Like, there's no way this guy wasn't in the mob, and the FBI is reaching out to him right now. Like, dude, there's a reason we put you in Indianapolis. Like, we were trying to keep you off the grid, and now you go and get the head coaching job in Chicago.
Allegedly.
He
is not in the witness protection program.
Allegedly. hopefully no button men are listening to
And,
this show.
and he's a
I was gonna
defensive
say.
nice. Well, he's a defensive coordinator too, and you know, pretty good one, which is good because you know that part doesn't really affect. You know, he's a young guy, but that doesn't affect. You know, he's our age, really, Mike. He's between my age and your age. He's a younger guy, but he's defensive specific, and you know, and the Bears need that. So that means they're going to get the coordinator and give that person a lot of responsibility.
Just a good old boy.
Coaches with you know, with Justin Fields on the offensive side. So I honestly think that's good, having a head coach that's a defensive guy. Listen, there are a lot of coaches that I think the reason they didn't do well as head coaches, and some of them that are failing a little bit could be doing better, is because they're trying to call plays and be the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Like, dude, you can't do all of that. Like, manage the team and be the coordinator. So I think it's good for Justin Fields when they iron all that out. I mean, let's be real. Like, we all hated what was going on in Chicago well before Fields got there, and then definitely after. His strengths were not used properly. Like, they didn't manage the offense on his strengths. It's stupid. He's a great passer, and they didn't even let him get Matt Nagy's Matt Nagy's an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, I don't like to say that about coaches, but that guy, I saw what he did, and the adjustments that he made were also equally fucking terrible.
Well, everybody that listens to the show knows how much Shane disliked Matt Nagy. Yeah, he's said it so many times, you know?
Yeah, and look, as a person, he's probably fine. But
probably a great guy, just an idiot.
Probably
as a
not
fucking
that.
strategist.
I actually don't think so. You know, like, I think your coaching tendencies are probably true to your real life tendencies. Like, he was probably just like a stubborn asshole in real life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I know better. I know better. Mitch, don't run. Justin, stay right here. Like,
Justin, I want you taking the snap under center. Just everything. Like,
you know, it'd be a really good idea, guys. Let's run a wildcat with David Montgomery. Like, Justin Fields at quarterback. What are you doing, bro?
We have Fields, this athletic marvel with a huge arm, and we're gonna run up.
So they got Luke Getsy as the coordinator, offensive coordinator. I don't. He's been an offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator back in his 1 year in Mississippi State. But other than that, it looks like his whole career has been with the Packers, either as a passing game coordinator, a quarterbacks coach, which is huge, right? He's got 3 years quarterback coaching experience, some wide receiver coaching experience, offensive game planning, and passing coordinator experience. Which
I do like who they hired as the quarterbacks coach. I think Andrew, it's like Janoko or something like that, Janico. Their quarterbacks coach, a lot of hype around that guy. I don't know much about him at all, but apparently Justin Fields was excited when they hired him. He advocated for that, or was glad that they hired this guy. So I think they're trying to put the pieces in place to help Fields, realize his talent and be better than he was under Nagy. So it couldn't be worse. It couldn't.
Yeah, Shane, I noticed in the group meet chat with our patrons, you were talking about the fact that you like that a lot of these coaches are not retreads, as you put it. You wrote in there that they were not retreads. Yeah. So I know we made a joke at the beginning of which one do you like on a personal level. If you don't want to do the personal level, then which one do you think is the best out of all these new coach hires?
I mean, so we're going to be wrong on all of these, right? Because
of course.
Remember when Chip, because as an Eagle fan, I just remember this. When they hired Chip Kelly, we were like, it's the greatest fucking day ever. When they
thought it was exciting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When they hired Doug Peterson, we went, what?
I actually thought that was going to be okay, man. I did. I thought that was going to work out.
But that said, I would assume Brian Dable is going to be the best because everyone assumes that because he was tied to Josh Allen.
Successful with the Bears, sure.
And Josh Allen was really good. I mean, he really improved over the last 3 years or however long Dable was with him. So that's what you hope.
Yeah,
well, that's not going to happen to Daniel Jones. He's not the same talent as Josh Allen. But if he can improve
right.
a little bit, he could be at least a startable quarterback too. And then if they get a real quarterback in there, it's going to be pretty exciting to see. And
I agree with you, man. Josh Allen. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and we know he likes to pass a lot based off the Bills offense, who schemes the running backs.
Yeah, for fantasy, Dayball's good. Dayball. The thing is, like, there's no way that the quarterback he's getting now is as good as Josh Allen, unfortunately. We hope so. Hopefully he optimizes stuff like that. But unfortunately, we can't extrapolate that far. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, that's okay. We kind of spoke about it last week where we were saying, is it the coach or is it the player that makes the difference? It's not like all of a sudden he's going to play like Josh Allen just because
probably the player more than the coach, but a combination would be great. I mean, look at Peyton Manning's best years. I mean, I think that it was when he was comfortable. I don't think Peyton Manning was that great of a quarterback, really. I mean, smart guy. No, smart guy, great arm. I don't think Peyton Manning was as amazing as he was. I really think that them allowing him to run the offense was what helped Peyton Manning become a great quarterback. Really, like letting him make decisions, letting him be Peyton Manning. So without player. I really do. I think the player more than the coaches. I think the coaches can help or hinder. I think there's times when we've seen synergies and stuff, but like Tom Brady, doesn't matter where Tom Brady went, as long as he was able to run the offense the way that he felt comfortable running the offense, it would be great. I think the same with guys like Peyton Manning and other good quarterbacks, but not every quarterback is that heady of a guy. So.
And not a lot of them even get that opportunity to be their own coach, pretty much.
And we didn't even talk about Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger retiring, and I don't care.
I don't care about either guy. I really don't.
First of all, I do. I cared about the Tom Brady thing. I do love how last week when we finished the show, which like we mentioned earlier, we did a Patreon only show. We did the whole show. And as we were saying goodbye and I said, say goodbye, everybody and everything, Shane remembered that Ben Roethlisberger had retired and he threw that last little jab in there right as we were
Shane hates Ben Roethlisberger more than I do. And I'm a Browns fan. Like
that's right.
It's hard to hate him more than I do.
He retired 2 weeks ago. That's right. Yeah. And then Tom Brady retired this week. And
right.
Whatever. Only thing I can say is if somehow that depresses the price on Mike Evans, just continue to acquire Mike Evans, because every year people just I don't really like Mike Evans, and every year
I love that you're saying that, because you were a guy that last year was selling Mike Evans, Shane. I remember that.
I agree
with what you're saying right now.
Yeah, but I bet
the market changes.
Yeah, I bet you can get him for a second round rookie pick.
I would give a second round rookie pick all day. I'll go into whatever leagues I don't have him in. Hey, look, here's his rookie badge, autograph, man. But
he was a consistent player as hell, man.
I'm easily with a second round pick. But I don't, Shane, I don't know. Look, there's not a whole lot of leagues where I don't have him. But do you really think that that somebody who has him right now will take a second round pick for Mike Evans?
Coming draft time,
because I would not accept this.
You're probably going to need to do a couple seconds. You'll probably have to do like, I'll give you a 202 and a 2019. Jesus, 2023. Okay.
I mean,
well, that's
a high second round pick, a player and like special favors. I'd consider. I'm just kidding.
That's a lot more than a second round pick. But so wait.
Here you go.
If you want, wait.
I wanted to give you some
from DLF.
Yeah, so I just on DLF, the very first trade that pops up is Mike Evans for Tony Pollard and Alexander Madison.
Oh my god, that's horrible. I want Mike Evans.
Oh my god, I would do that in a second.
Yeah,
a lot of.
And then I would put a second round. I'd put a second round pick on top of that with those two players and give him for Mike Evans.
I know Tony Pollard. These guys get a hard on for that guy.
Yeah, you know what? Understand it. So I stand corrected right now. Well, there haven't been a lot of trades, obviously, because
for Mike Evans
have hibernated. So yeah, there hasn't been a lot of straight up Mike Evans trades, but there's one trade. Someone got 2023 first and second for him. And Khalil Herbert, but whatever. So maybe I'm a little lower on him than I think the community is. I still think it'll drop because it happens every year at rookie when we do our rookie drafts that any wide receiver around the age of 29, all of a sudden, he becomes that guy that no one wants to pay a first for, but a second is fine or multiple seconds.
Yeah. I get it.
Then let me ask you this: if you're saying that window. Like it starts now. Today's February 3rd. All right. The draft is April 28th. when is free agent? Not free agents. Yeah, free agency. When is free agency? Like when?
March 14th, 15th, something like that.
Okay, so you have this window right now where we don't know who the quarterback is in Tampa Bay. Right now, I guess it would be Kyle Trask because that's the only one they have left on their roster.
Yeah,
whatever.
maybe.
So
what happened to Blaine Gabbert? Wasn't Blaine Gabbert the backup there?
Yeah,
I think he's still there, but nobody. But what I'm saying is,
still.
Like I saw rumors and reports in the news down here in Florida about, going after Jimmy Garoppolo and all this kind of stuff. So do you think the moment they sign somebody, whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo, whether Winston comes back, which that I don't think is going to happen, but then that window shuts, right? Or that window gets worse?
He's a 29.
Oh, you think it closes?
He's a 29-year-old wide receiver that doesn't put up, and I don't mean to say this like he's not a good player, but he doesn't put up like elite wide receiver 1 numbers, right?
Yeah, when you're talking about a 29-year-old player or somebody like Mike Evans that does do that, it's a totally different story.
Yeah, I mean, because look, it's Cooper Kupp.
1.
People don't want to buy into Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams, who are coming off another smash year because they're 29. So it's going to be the same thing with Evans, who's not even at that level. So
you think people don't want to buy into Cooper Kupp right now? I mean, Devontae Adams is a little bit different because everybody thinks that Rodgers is going to leave. But why are people not buying into Cooper Kupp? I mean,
no, I think you can sell high on Cooper Kupp right now. Definitely not so with Devontae Adams and Mike Evans, but Cooper Kupp, you could definitely sell high on that guy.
Let's find
if you want to. No, I mean, if you want to sell Cooper Kupp,
it just doesn't. Yeah, like I said, I understand maybe the Devontae Adams and Mike Evans, but the Cooper Kupp thing, and he's still going right now. I mean, he's going to the freaking Super Bowl.
Here's a trade that was made exactly a month ago, and actually, this
a month ago.
This should be like in memoriam. 1 month ago, someone traded Cooper Kupp for Michael Thomas and Kadarius Toney. Why would you do that? Why?
I do.
No, you're right, because I'm just looking at some of the trades in December. I mean, you know how it gets, right? So this is my only thing.
I think Kupp's value's gone up, of course, since he won that award, and then at the end of the playoffs. I'm just saying, like I don't think his value's ever been higher.
Yeah.
Well, right? he's going to be 29 in June. We all know how we feel about wide receivers that they get to that age. I'm just saying that the market is going to depress his price a little bit. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't trade for him in certain leagues because, just like when Adam Thielen turned 29, you know what I mean? He was a guy that I was fine getting because I thought he had a few more years. And no, I didn't pick him because he also happens to be an old wide receiver. Although now that I think of it, that probably wasn't unconscious bias. And that's probably why I went with Adam.
Did you say white? Yeah. Why did you say white?
I love how we've been doing this show for over 4 years, and now that we're doing YouTube, all of a sudden Jeremy has like sunglasses and a hat.
The lights are so bright down here.
I keep looking up at you, and you're just like, Jeremy's gone Hollywood,
So what do we think about the Raiders bringing back?
Yeah,
Josh McDaniel.
I was going to bring that up as which one do you like the least? Since you talked about which one you like the best, which one do you like the least?
No, I honestly like Josh McDaniels. And go ahead, Shane. I like Josh in Raider Town.
Look, it's been a decade since everything that happened in Denver happened.
Has it been a decade? Has it been really 10 years?
Yes.
Wow.
I would hope that, just as you look at who you were 10 years ago, whether you were a better or worse person, you were probably a very different person, right? That's what I think. Most people.
Nice. And I could certainly run an offense after 10 years of studying it.
Well, didn't we start the show 10 years ago? Haven't we been doing this for 10 years?
15 years ago.
15.
I think it's
15 years ago.
Okay, 15.
Look, he did a fine job with McCorkle Jones this year, right?
Yeah.
He did a great job with McCorkle.
But didn't they say the same thing 10 years ago that he was good with Brady? That's why he got the job.
He was, but look,
he wasn't ready to be a head coach before, but I think he clearly is now. He's definitely unequivocally, Josh McDaniels is a good offensive mind and good with offensive players and quarterbacks. I don't know about the rest of it for the head coach stuff, but if he came to town and was my team's offensive coordinator and like offensive mind or whatever, working with the quarterback, and I would be happy. So hopefully all the other shit he can do finally, and he's okay, and he's reconciled all that, because I really do think he's a great offensive guy. Plus, he's from Ohio.
Shane, you were saying
No, I
about
was just
Josh?
gonna say he was 35, and like, yeah, you're an adult, obviously, but still, trust me, at 35, you're a very different person than you are at 45 when you
Or
failed at
53.
something.
Amen, brother.
And when you failed in that role spectacularly, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, I'm sure he learned some things, and people want to bag on him because he didn't end up taking the Colts job after he,
Oh yeah,
accepted
that's
it.
right.
I personally think
I think that was a smart decision.
Right. I think it's funny to make fun of him for it. Like, I think it's hilarious to be like, oh, he ghosted the Colts. But to have the foresight to end a relationship that you think is going to go poorly in the beginning is a pretty intelligent move when you go,
yes,
you know what? I'm looking at this situation. My heart's either not into it or I don't think
Turns
it's going
out
to
on
turn
the
out
first
well.
date, I already know this isn't okay. I know I
Right.
signed up for the first date, but I gotta, that's smart.
And then he got more Super Bowls, sticking with the Patriots, anyways. How does this affect Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Jared Judy, all that kind of stuff? For fantasy wise, how does that affect them?
They need it doesn't. I mean, your head coach. It's the Scott said it yesterday. I think it's the Jamars and Justins, not the X's and O's.
But if it doesn't affect it, you just said before that the Giants coach affects it. So why wouldn't this affect it?
It affects it.
I think their fantasy. I think all the fantasy points go up. I really do. I think Josh Jacobs catches more passes. I think Derek Carr becomes more efficient. Really, I do. I think it's going to be a more efficient offense, and I think we're going to see greater fantasy points. But Derek Carr is not long for the job, I think, of a starting quarterback anyway. Like, for years, like he's been at his best recently. I don't know what they're going to do if they bring in another quarterback. I think he's the quarterback this next year, and I think he was really efficient this past year compared to before they went to Vegas. I do think that we can see as much efficiency or better and more in the passing game and more with the running back, Josh Jacobs. I do.
Yeah,
but it's going to be marginal.
John Gruden was not good for fantasy. I mean, I don't think he was, obviously, but
right.
I don't want to see the Patriots backfield there. I don't want to see Josh Jacobs being relegated back to one role again.
Right.
All he's doing is like, all right, you're the first and second down back. On third downs, we're bringing in, the LA version of James White.
And I think Jacobs is better than whatever they have in New England. I don't think anyone would want to do that Belichick every spreading it so thin. I really think if you have Jacobs, you need to use Jacobs. I think McDaniels is like us. Like, you have this running back. Let's use this running back, especially in the passing game. I hope. Yeah. I think we're going to see more passes his way.
But what you're saying is you both are saying you hope, but I guess there's the potential that it could end up being like a Patriots backfield.
I mean, he's one of Bill's children.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right. So for fantasy, for this offseason, for right now, we know this is the coach. Do you do something with Josh Jacobs now, or do you?
I want Josh Jacobs
for
now.
8
Myself,
months, or do you try to get
myself. I want to acquire Josh Jacobs more now. I really do think that he's going to be more involved in the game. He's a great player, and I think McDaniels must know that and is going to use him. Yeah, he's better than what the Patriots had, and you can't strap him to Bill on in every way. I think if you have Josh Jacobs, we're all frustrated that Josh Jacobs doesn't get more action. I bet Josh McDaniels is the same way. I'm sure he's like,
well, he did.
How many opportunities did we have that we could have used, this great running back on this or that, or we should get him involved in the passing game. I guarantee Jacobs isn't going to do worse than he did last year.
He got a ton of targets last year once Biscuits took over as the head coach
instead of Gruden.
Yeah. So I was hoping that Biscuits was going to stay there and just run it back, because then it would have been like, all right, I know what your offense is going to be. I saw what you did. I'm sure there's going to be some slight tweaks, but your offense is going to be a lot of Jacobs. I would assume it's going to be a lot of Jacobs now. But what's funny is we're talking about Derek Carr, And between him and Jimmy G, two quarterbacks that I absolutely despised, like I'm collecting both of them in every league I can this year. I'm just like, give me him, because I think if they want to get rid of Carr, he'd be the second best option out there. After he might be the first best option over Jimmy G, to be quite honest.
Yeah, to run an offense on a new team that needed a quarterback. I agree. I think that's the right order, Carr and Jimmy G. And I'd be fine with it too if Carr went somewhere fantasy wise. He was pretty good this past year in fantasy. I was glad to have him.
What other quarterbacks are like? I guess what Jameis is out. He doesn't have a contract anymore. Yep. And who else? I mean,
Jimmy's going to be traded. They've already basically said that.
All right.
And
Tannehill might move. You got your favorite player up in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. He's different. If he plays again, he's in a different place for sure.
And doesn't Russ want to leave too?
Yeah, Russ always wants to leave.
Russ Wilson, as soon as he gets an opportunity to go somewhere else, he's going to.
Well, here's I wouldn't imagine that. Good Lord. Tannehill's not going to go anywhere. He's got
I don't think so.
Unless he gets traded, right?
No, he's got a $38 million dead cap hit this year.
He's not going to get traded with that.
No. Unless you're the Rams or Indianapolis, you're not making a trade like that. Unless you think, I don't know, you'd have to get someone special.
You're not going to get a Matt Stafford just anywhere.
Exactly. Like if Matt Stafford is available and they could make that trade, like if for some reason the Rams are like, hey, we want our Super Bowl, who wants next?
Forever quarterback.
And then give him away. Yeah. Look, we've talked about this over the years that this is February. We don't have football till August, whatever. So everybody's going to have stories every week. There's going to be all this stuff talked about everything. But wasn't there like some kind of story that came out today talking about Aaron Rodgers is open to playing for Tennessee? Like what the hell was that?
He bought property there, man.
Yeah, he bought land in Tennessee.
So everybody's connecting the dot.
What's funny is like we know these guys are like just ridiculously wealthy.
Yeah.
And they own property all over the place. But like when he buys some property in like Guam, nobody's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers wants to go play for the Guam.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I made a joke earlier today.
That's what I mean. With it being the off season right now, everybody's going to just make up stories every single day,
Yep.
Yeah, I made a joke earlier today. I was like, breaking news, Aaron Rodgers just purchased some toilet paper at a local store. Not sure what this means other than some shit is going down.
Oh,
I mean, like, you just don't know what's happening because guys are doing, I bought some toilet paper and I'm also getting some property in Nashville. It doesn't mean he's going to the Titans. Get real.
Well, let's double back. We didn't talk about the Denver one. What about the Denver coach? What do you think is going to go on over there in Denver?
I don't know what to think about that.
I don't know. More importantly, is Aaron Rodgers going to end up there?
Well,
that's the most important part of it.
That would be amazing.
That's why I just brought it up, because we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. But do you really think that's a possibility?
Yeah.
Or is this just all the same?
I think Aaron Rodgers, after he's done with Green Bay, I think all possibilities are there. I really think it depends on where he wants to go. If he wants to keep playing, Tennessee, is it Green Bay? Is it Denver? Is it Tennessee? I think wherever he wants to go would be the thing. Like more,
the team will
accommodate more than other players. More like a Tom Brady. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And I could see him wanting to go to Tennessee. I mean, everything is there except for Aaron Rodgers, right? And Denver too. Really, honestly, in fantasy football, I would love to see him in
Tennessee's. At least surface level, it's similar to Green Bay in that they have one premier wide receiver and then a running game.
And their coach came from there. Their head coach in Green Bay was in Tennessee before he went to Green Bay. Yeah, I don't. It might seem at surface level kind of odd, but living in Nashville probably better than living in Green Bay, right? For Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot to like about it. There really is. And then that team isn't bad. Good coach to play for, a good defense. Derrick Henry, really.
Well, there's plenty of athletes that live in different states and then play in different states. So they, a lot of different factors go into that. I just think it's funny that when it's the off season, everybody just jumps to every story and every conclusion they can. And speaking of that, there's a whole bunch of other things besides these coaches, but we also on the show sheet this week, Shane, you created some new little section, I guess, here called Twitter Bits. And you had some little news bites that you took out of Twitter. So maybe we should get a little sound bite for Twitter Bits or whatever. But
Twitter Bits, bitches.
But I know you wanted to bring up a couple of them. So why don't we go towards that? We're already 30 minutes into this. So
I don't want to move on to stay on the coaching too much, other than the Jaguars are scaring the absolute dog shit out of me, because Byron Leftwich said this is shit so much that no, I don't want your job. Please stop considering me for your job. But they might fall ass backwards into Doug Peterson, which isn't a bad consolation prize. It's not franchise altering, but I'm getting really worried for Trevor Lawrence.
I was going to say, on a personal level, you're saying this because of your Trevor Lawrence shares. That's the whole reason you care. But all right. So tell us these Twitter bits you got here.
So that was one. Then the other, I thought this was fun. Where are we at here? Let me look at the show sheet. Yeah.
He thought it was fun.
They're his bits.
Well, first of all, I just learned today that Antoine Randall L., former great Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver, is the wide receivers coach for Detroit.
The Lions. Yeah, I learned that today as well.
Yeah. So he says, do they need to add guys at that position? That's a playmaker. He wants to draft. And again, he's the position coach. Of course, he wants more wide receivers, but he's hoping they sign one in free agency and draft
a few, right?
Yeah,
draft a couple.
And what is there right now?
I know Ross St. Brown.
Yeah, I know everybody was so excited about Kenny Golladay a couple years ago, and that just didn't work out, and now he's gone. So, and what do they have? That Quintez Cephas last year? People were saying, "Oh, he's going to do something."
When we got injured, Khalif Raymond, and they had towards the end of the year, Tyrell Williams was actually pretty good there.
I mean, they have some guys that are capable, but
So if I was the position coach, I'd want them to draft 2, 3, 4, sign some as well.
Amen.
I can understand it. I mean, it makes sense. But you're right. I didn't know that it was the Steelers' Antoine Randall L. either is doing it.
Yeah, but that was the biggest part of it. The Twitter, of course they want wide receivers, but I was like, oh, Antoine Randall L. is their wide receiver coach. Cool, I remember him.
So it's funny because that's the second one you have on the show sheet. The first one you have on the show sheet is so teeny I can't even read it. So I don't even know.
That was the Byron Leftwich one.
Oh, it was Byron. See, I can't even read it. So, so then good. So I didn't realize. So you just kind of blew right past that one. All right. So then you only have one left. So let's do your last bit, and then we'll do the trades.
They're Twitter bits. They're little babies. They're little baby snack size things. Buddy,
that's why they're called Twitter bits.
Thor Nystrom down at the Senior Bowl was loving Malik Willis this week. I don't know if anyone follows Thor on Twitter, but they should.
They should.
Excellent college football guy.
We like Thor.
He tweeted that the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, formerly of the rapist, allegedly. No, wait, that's not allegedly.
I'm so glad we're not going to be able to be saying that.
Yeah, we can just skip over Ben and that. Just go for the Steelers liking him over Kenny Pickett.
They clearly prefer Malik Wilson to Kenny Pickett.
And Carson Strong to Kenny Pickett.
I didn't think Carson Strong's even in consideration.
No, they like both guys over Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying that's kind of.
They like Carson Strong over Kenny Pickett?
I think they do, yeah. I think a lot of people do. Yeah, listen to Shane. Yeah, I think a lot of people really do. Honestly, yeah, that's. I know.
This is going to be cool. Look, this is already February. When do we start going rookie crazy? When do we start really doing all that?
I am working on my confidence ratings right now, and I like some of the stuff I'm seeing out of the Senior Bowl. And I know Shane's got his favorite players, and there's a lot of talk about Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. We'll get to that. I think we have a lot of cool things in store, and we'll be talking with some Devy people.
We have some great guests coming up. I can't wait to start having the guests back on the show. That's true. All right, well then why don't we go over to these couple of trades, Shane, before we wrap everything up? There's a couple trades on the show sheet here.
We got trades and shit.
Shane's trading.
Shane's trades.
We got Twitter bits.
It's party time. It's excellent. Shane's trades.
Oh, I just thought of another good one.
We need like graphics and everything now that we're on YouTube.
Yeah,
Shane trades when he plays fantasy football.
Shane trades. Trades.
I want to get Shane in the recording studio to start doing those songs. But all right, let's talk about this first trade here that you got here in. What does that say? Fantasy and funk, but
fantasy and funk.
But both words are spelled with PH.
Well, yeah.
That's fat.
That's our dude. That's our dude Joe, I believe, right? Is fantasy and funk.
I don't know. Take your word for it.
Right, hold on. What league is that? I don't even know what fucking league that is.
Hey, we're on YouTube right now, so when you say "hold on," this isn't the same as me cutting it out on the podcast.
Dude, share your screen, Shane. Show us what you are looking at.
It's so funny. I've cared so much for 4.5 years, and now we're doing this. You're like, I know you
fun.
didn't care. I'm the one that cared.
Okay, so
Shane's never cared.
4 years
Shane has never literally
never
cared. Yeah.
So it's our dude. Yeah, it is our dude Joe, who is a patron. I'm in many leagues with, and you know one thing I appreciate about Joe.
What?
His team name in every league.
Yeah.
Fantasy and funk.
Okay, so
that
then
is really easy,
and that makes sense that you would know that. I'm not in any of those leagues. I don't know if Jeremy is. So when you say
I'm not,
we
but I'm
know
going to take that idea.
Yeah, but now every league I'm in is FF Blitz. I've always
I'm going to use the PH and I'm going to change every team that I have to fat and fucked up, and everybody's going to know who's coming
with a PH. But yeah, I do FF Blitz in every single league that I'm in. I don't have any different ones.
I love it.
So go ahead. What was the trade, Shane?
Oh, so look, I've gotten a little bit I guess what's the word I want to look for? Horny over Justin Herbert lately.
Oh, really? Yeah, good for you. Finally.
But you do that a lot. You pick out a guy and then you really go all out in every league you're in.
So you know what? With this really, look, we're not great at talent evaluation. Many of us in fantasy football. Many of us in the NFL are not great at talent evaluation. You remember your hits, that's fine. You can fine.
Sure.
But what I am good at is acquiring assets to turn around and use on players that I know are good. If I don't hit on rookie picks. So what I had done is I gave up one of those, a couple of those assets. I gave the 2022 102 and Dakota Prescott, and I got Justin Hebert and the 107.
Awesome. I mean, you're talking about a. Oh wait, when you said Dakota Prescott.
Yeah, you thought that was an unknown player.
I thought you were in like a Debbie league or something. I didn't.
You don't know who Dak Prescott is?
I know, but I didn't realize. All I heard was the Dakota part.
Mike's like, you threw me off my game. I definitely want Herbert over that guy. I want the younger player, the big arm player. I mean, there's unequivocally, I'm a big fan, so I'm on that side. You know it.
Well, especially with this rookie class, like I said, this is February and we're not drooling over people yet. So to go from the 102 to the 107, and then get the player you want, which is Herbert, which the reason I sighed and I laughed when you said that is because I've been saying that for 4 freaking years. I am perfectly fine trading my rookie picks to get a player that I know right now is good and I can put him in my lineup. Then somebody,
and ironically, that's Herbert over Dakota Prescott. I mean, it's the younger guy. It's that. Yeah. But what you're saying, that's the guy you would go for. Get rid of the veteran, get rid of the pick, and get that younger quarterback. I mean, it's not ironic, but I'm just saying, like.
No, but it's the idea that
better guy.
Everybody wants that lottery ticket that I picked this guy and he's the greatest player ever.
I have the 101 in the 2022 draft. Okay. Yeah.
But in reality, it's really hard to do. So it's way easier to wait a year or whatever, and then throw a bunch of shit at somebody and get the player that you want.
I mean, right. The chance of getting Justin Herbert in this draft at any of the picks in the top 10 is slim. You have a starting quarterback in an offense that's using this guy. He's become a quarterback one. It wouldn't make sense to go backwards and try to, get rid of him and take on a veteran quarterback and try to get somebody. It's probably not going to happen. So getting that younger player that's like a star player, even just trading him after you do it, it makes more sense to just get that guy.
But Shane, what were you just saying? I thought you were going to forget. You were about to respond to what I said, and then Jim started talking.
I don't want people to think that it's easy to accrue a bunch of assets and just go out there and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to trade 3 firsts for Justin Herbert. Like the optimal strategy is obviously, I hit on them in my rookie picks. I am very good at trading, so I get lots of assets. And I can then go, all right, well, I might have missed on Dakota this year, but I might have missed on a player. That's his name.
Dak Prescott. Dude, you have to nobody knows who you're talking about. Dak Prescott.
But anyway, I mean, you have to be good at training so you can acquire a lot of assets and then use them. But obviously you want to hit on rookie picks because you're using a singular rookie pick. Like if
we'd love to do it every time.
World,
sure.
Yeah. Every year, I'd love to go, oh, well, this year I hit on Justin Herbert. The next year it was Kyler Murray, or the same year, whatever. I don't care. But you know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, oh, I hit on Murray and I hit on Herbert in the rookie draft, and I spent 1 pick.
Yeah.
Only one dude in your league or gal in your league is going to hit on them.
I like it. I actually do like it the other way. I like to make those moves and try to get the player as a. But look, I used to do that even with like buying sports memorabilia and autograph stuff. I never bought a box of cards for $150.
Yeah,
I went on eBay
the
and
one
got the
one
player I wanted, and because
quality over quantity. And that's the thing with what Shane did. I mean, honestly, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but really, he got the Herbert thing is what you want. Like it does, even just looking at those 2 quarterbacks, but like you go for the thing that's of the most value, and that's clearly Herbert compared to Dakota Prescott. And I like Prescott, fine, and I think that's great, but I think that was a smart move on your part. And you went with the more valuable asset overall. Veteran.
So Shane, what's this next trade you got going here?
I got another trade.
See, you have to get close to the screen too because it's really small. I see you scooted forward to be able to read it.
I mean, I can't even see it.
I can't even see it either.
Wait, which one is this? Small. Half chicken, half steak?
I can't.
Oh, I see it now. Elijah Moore. Yeah.
You know how like when you're on like Microsoft Office or whatever, and you go Helvetica 14 point. This thing looks like it's 2 point.
You can fix that on your view. It's clear. It's clear, right?
So I see Elijah. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm looking over at the show sheet, and it's really small.
I can't be.
So Andrew Hall did this, right?
Bigger.
Oh, HQ3.
But I'm in the middle of a live show now on YouTube. You make it bigger so I can read it. But go ahead, you read it.
This was our listener league, right? HQ3 league.
This is HQ3. Yeah.
Andrew Hall. Yeah. Go ahead.
Andrew didn't make the trade. It was me and Half Chicken. Oh wait, it is Andrew. Oh. No, it's not Andrew.
No, Andrew is just some of the pick. Yeah.
He has all the picks.
I gave up Juju Smith-Schuster, 2022 first from Drew, which we believe is right around the 109 or 110. And then a 2023 second rounder, and I got back Elijah Moore and a 2023 third rounder.
I'm okay with it. I think it's a good trade.
I like it. We've talked over years about Juju not being what we wanted Juju to be, and
he's a B receiver, a good receiver, but a B. Yeah. And I think Elijah Moore is an A receiver. So you traded a B with picks for an A.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to buying the player that you want, where you didn't get him last year as a rookie, and now you're moving a piece that you don't necessarily want anymore. And first to get the player that you want to stick in your lineup. So it works that way.
And every time I look at Elijah Moore on someone else's roster, all I can think of is, why the fuck did I draft Trey Sermon? What was
I know. Trey Sermon is such a letdown. You drafted Trey Sermon too high.
And I talked, and every year, and I made fun of people for doing it with whoever it was last year, Keyshawn Vaughn. And I made fun of everyone
Keyshawn Vaughn.
because I said,
you did it too. Yeah.
You fell for the Samaj P. Ryan landing spot again. And then what did I do? I go, oh, the San Francisco 49ers traded up for Trey Sermon, and it's San Francisco. They love him. He gonna smash, even though I didn't like him. I didn't like him one bit. You listen to me this time
I thought
last
he was
year.
Going to be good. I'm surprised.
This time last year, I was making fun of the guy because he couldn't. He only had 2 good games in college. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You know what? You know what's funny when you bring this up? We talked about some of the things we were going to do coming out of the season, and one of the things we were going to talk about was some of the hits and misses of 2021 and all that kind of stuff. When we never really got around to doing that, we did a little bit with the patrons or whatever. But when you just said that about you look at your rosters and see how many you have of this or that, the thing that bugs the crap out of me is I did a lot of trades into the draft this past year, and I got Devonta Smith like everywhere. But a lot of those places where I traded in to get Devonta Smith, freaking Jalen was sitting there, Waddle's sitting there, and so many of those drafts, and I took Devonta Smith. And especially living down here in South Florida and Miami, I so wish I would have went a different direction in so many of those draft picks. Jeremy, you remember we're on YouTube now, so you're shoving all that food in your mouth, but everybody can see you do it. Where in the past,
hey, you know what?
Didn't see it.
The fact that you went after Devonta Smith is fine, and or Waddell. Honestly, either player would have been fine.
Yeah,
you can't beat yourself up over either one. I want both of those players. I think you're okay. I mean, you didn't make a big mistake or anything like that.
A big mistake is the year prior going heavy on Jalen Reagor instead of Henry Ruggs, or instead of any other wide receiver that was drafted in the first round.
It's just one of those kind of things where I see every one of those games down here, and I see how he definitely took over as the wide receiver 1 for Miami. And but you're right. There's been some good games with Devonta Smith, but I just felt like I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, wow, man, maybe I should have. But that's the problem with looking back at it and going, I should have done this. I should have done that.
Yeah,
then
don't look back in anger.
Trades. Yeah,
Smith is going to be fine in Philly.
Yeah, the one thing that you can't get right now, I'm sure, and it was really hard to get last year unless you had a top 1 or 2 pick, but is Jamar Chase. I mean, he is just so far ahead of everybody else from last year's
it's not even honestly, it's not worth trying to acquire Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase right now. You're better off going, all right, well, who's in that next tier that's probably a little bit, they're attainable, that could leap back into that tier, like AJ Brown if he stays on the field.
Man, did you guys see? I don't know if either one of you guys are on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok all the time. But AJ Green posted a TikTok
about the Bengals.
My
wife shared that with me.
Yeah, he's cool. Sitting on a couch and he takes off and he puts the Bengals thing back on his head. It's like all this time, and then now the Bengals are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. and he's pulling for him. It's great. Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty funny. All right,
I love you guys. The players you guys are talking about, I love it because we have those players in the DFB, right?
Yeah.
We drafted Herbert. We have Waddle. We have, AJ Brown still? We didn't trade him away, do we? We have all kinds of good young talent on that team. And, we had some hiccups at the end of the season, but
we were one game away from going to the Super Bowl.
If we get rid of Miles Sanders and some of the fluff we have at running back and actually get a real running back on our team. I mean, we had some injuries, but our team is real, man. We have awesome quarterback situation and wide receivers now, and it was done largely through the last few rookie drafts. We did awesome there. You can turn your team around like that.
Yeah, and we did a couple good trades in there too. But we were in the Fantasy Bowl against Matthew last year, and then this year we were one game away from doing it again with him. But and we're gonna have some of those guys on the show coming up in the next couple of months or weeks, I guess, which is gonna be awesome. So let's wrap this up. We're gonna go do some Patreon stuff. But Shane, before we do that, tell everybody about our Patreon.
We have a patron. Go become a patron because I just actually sent out.
You need to sound more excited because it's so much fun, and you're in there every day talking to those guys.
We got a awesome group me chat that's nonstop. We got some swag.
Even during the show, even when we're doing the show, Shane's in the
I can't keep up with it. I don't even put stuff in there because I can't keep up.
Shane's in the groupie chat while we're doing the show every week.
Yeah, right now we've already discussed. While during the show, I've been in there discussing trades with the patrons and where we think Jimmy G's going to land and what we would.
That's actually ridiculous. You should probably focus on the show for an hour.
No, it's hey, listen, we've been doing it this long. Look,
you think this was the first time it happened?
Exactly.
I know how you are, man. You can't focus.
But the good thing about it is now that we're on YouTube, people can see it. People can see us now, and they will see the way Shane is doing other things while we're talking. You know, it's perfect. So
always,
yeah. But listen, it's awesome, and and our Patreons are great. And look, even with the Fantasy Football Expo coming up in August, right? Is that when it is? Yes, sir. We're going to be going there, and we're going to be sponsoring a panel. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, but we're going to have our patrons showing up wearing their HQ Crew shirts, and we're going to have a really good time. So anybody that's thinking about going, you've got a few months to prepare, but get over the website. Jeremy, what's the website for them to go to sign up, buy tickets?
I don't even know for sure. I can definitely get that to them on the Patreon show, and we can tweet it out. But yeah, definitely. We're gonna wear our skivvies, just underwear, and our t-shirts.
No, we're not wearing. No, that's kidding. Not what we're doing.
No, but yeah, I'll get that for you, and we can tweet it out.
Okay, cool. So we'll put it up there for everybody to check it out. So, all right. Well, what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap this up, and it's been fun, guys. It's fun being on YouTube now and everything. And hey, we've got a lot of great response from people and everything. So we need to start figuring out the way to make this work even better. So we're going to keep doing some more stuff on here, including stuff with our Patreons and including little tidbits. Maybe Shane will start doing some of his Twitter bits as a little bits, as like a little 1 or 2 minute YouTube alert. Look at Shane's face. So say goodbye, everybody. Jeremy.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. We'll
say goodbye, Shane.
Bye, Shane.
And then Jeremy has to hit stop of the video so that we're not all sitting there staring into space waiting for Jeremy to hit it. So hopefully Jeremy's hitting it right now, and that's